This is the Xt225 review. It's been about 1 year, and I'm going to go through what I have done to the bike so I can actually ride it through the trails at a pretty high pace. First things first is the Cogent suspension. That made a huge difference. I have a video specifically on the Cogent suspension. It's a pretty pricey system, but it is a night and day difference. You should check out that video on my channel. The second thing I have to say is going to be the fork support. It helped a little. This is for tweaking. I have a big problem tweaking on this bike. Very little it helps. It's $225. I don't think it's worth that price, but it did help a tiny bit. So if you need a tiny bit help to not tweak your forks, I think they'll do it. But we're talking minuscule. Second thing this bike needed pretty badly was front tire, fat front tire. I noticed on a normal 90 front tire, it was everywhere. It was very washy. That's the biggest problem with this bike, is that the front end washes everywhere. Everyone will complain about this on this Xt225. So I got the 90-100 21 Tractionator Desert HTs. I put 4,000 miles on this tire. I mean, it is still perfectly fine. I mean, it does really well on the sand, mud. It fixed the washy problem completely. So you can relax ride, you can get aggressive. It keeps up with lower B level, I'd say, in the woods. But if you start slowing down in sugar sand, then yeah, you're going to want a more actual knobby. But for the road, again, 4,000 miles, the bike doesn't weigh anything. And it doesn't have enough horsepower for both tires to get really down there. But again, you need a wide tire on this bike. That's a must for the XT. That's for off-road, on-road. Get the wide tire. It's a big difference. Next thing is brakes. So I tried to get the Chinese brakes, didn't work. So I took the existing caliper and I got the rebuild kit, the Moose rebuild kit on Amazon. I had to go through two kits: the original O-ring, the actual plunger ripped. The second kit, it worked, and it took a really long time to bleed the system, but once it did, it was a night and day difference. Just get a rebuild kit. The OEM ones suck. So it's existing master cylinder with the rebuild kit. I just took off the top off the Chinese one I got from eBay, and just put it on there, and it all works great. It's all new lines, braided, so the whole line has been redone. You see, going all the way down, brand new stainless steel line, and a caliper, Chinese eBay caliper. I mean, this was like, I think $17, and it came with pads. I know it's cheap, but it worked fantastically. The OEM again sucked. It was almost 20 years old. It needed to go. So new pads, caliper, master cylinder internals rebuild, and that alone made the front brakes amazing. Now the rotor, got a brand new Chinese rotor. I think it's a knick-knack. It's slightly bigger than OEM. We're talking a hair. It could have been just because of the wear on the OEM, but just that little bit. I mean, we're talking a tiny bit. It made a massive night and day difference with the front brakes. 95% of my braking is with the front brakes. I mean, you can't really tell, but from here to there, it's locked up completely. So it's like we're comparing like KTM level sensitive, but it's really good. That fixed a ton of problems on the front brakes. That was much needed. Second thing I have to say is the risers. This is the Rocks offset 1-inch risers. There's 1 inch up, then 1 inch forwards. It doesn't seem like much, 1 inch, but it is, again, night and day. I can stand up on the bike. It is the same comfortability as my 2-strokes. I can stand up and about 5 times longer. It's a huge difference. Actually, you can get much more aggressive because this is a Pro Taper Evo YZ high bend. So it does, I bring it back a bit, and it does replicate how your wrists are as the stock bars. The stock bars were very comfortable. The problem was it was really low and it would hit your knees. So with the bars a little bit higher than stock and with the risers, it went up 2 inches in total. Doesn't sound like much, but huge difference, because when dragging the bars on, like, you know, a berm, I mean, you're just hitting it hard and your legs are right up here. Stock bars, I would whack my knees all the time. It hurt like hell. So this big difference is a huge must. You have to do it. Don't get normal risers. It'd be too close to you. You need to be in front of this bike. Definitely do it. So the big thing with these bars as well, almost forgot. I cut off 1 inch on each side of this bar, so it's 2 inch less in total. This will mimic the stock bars on width, where your hands are. It will mimic the width, and in trails, big difference on stock. The Pro Taper Evos are super wide. You don't want that in trails. Cut 2 inches off. So it's 1 inch each side. Next is the Bark Busters. This is the universal kit, and with the aluminum bars comes with vibration. So with the Bark Busters, they have a part number called 066 for the weighted ends. That completely took all the vibration and it pulled it all the way to the end. So you're on the highway and you're holding on, you don't feel nothing. I'm talking like an electric scooter. It's pretty cool. There's no vibration. It took all the vibration and it moved it out. So you take your hand off the highway and you touch this and it's like a freaking buzzer. Just crazy. So on the highway, it's amazing. You don't need bar snake, nothing. You don't have to fill up the bars with foam, beads. You don't need any of that. So that's fixed. The Bark Buster Universal Aluminum Kit, and then 066 weighted ends. Get them. It's a must. It fits. It's a little tight, but it fits. So with the risers, you're wondering, where's the choke? Right there. You can take 2 washers on the in and outside and put your choke here. You don't need a longer cable. You don't need to bend nothing. You just take the choke, pull it down, bolt it around your top of your triple tree. No problem. Works just fine. There's no stress on the cable. Big difference. LED turn signals, obvious. I busted all the turn signals on this bike, I think 2 or 3 times, so I got sick of buying the OEM ones. Even though they were cool, I had to get the small ones. Even actually went through, even with the small ones, I'm bashing these pretty hard, but they don't break. All Amazon stuff. It's perfect. Next is these mirrors. I tried a lot of mirrors on this bike. None of them worked. Even the real expensive ones you see on Facebook and stuff, they all sucked. This, I think it was $19 for both of them, and it came with your actual riser with ball, and they work perfect. It's a little bit, because it's a rubber ball, and you're like, oh no, it's a rubber ball. It's fine. It doesn't drag down. I really cased hard. I mean, I came down hard and it never drooped down. That was the biggest problem with mirrors. They droop down. I would case something really hard on the trail and it would just shatter. I have glass in my face. I went through quite a bit of mirrors. It sucked. So you need something with a little bit of flex. I know you don't like the rubber balls, but for something like this, you have to. Comes off real easy. Send $19 Amazon. You gotta do it. So next thing is headlight. Come on, what headlight was that? Thinking here. It is the... I'll put it in the description. I tried a lot of headlight bulbs. You're not changing anything out, just the bulb. They're all H4. You don't want to go past 60 watts. I noticed past 60 watts. I tried halogen 100 watts. I tried LEDs, I think it was like 70 watts. Even though the stator can handle it, it doesn't. I blew through regulators, and I blew through batteries, and I get lithium batteries on this bike, and it blew through it. It does not work. Don't go past 55 watts on the bulbs. Just don't. But I'll put in the description which bulb this is. Really good bulb, really good spread. I don't need fogs at night when going through the trails. When you get high beam, it does everything perfect. It's like a big fog. And low beam, it's perfect for the road. It's, I believe, 50 or 55 watt LED, fanless. You do not want fanless on these bikes. I mean, you don't want fans on these bikes. You hit the mud, they stop working, your bulb burns out. You're in the middle, you're 40 miles deep in the trail, middle of the night, your bulb burns out. Trust me, it's not good. I've been through it multiple times. Do not get the fan LEDs. Next is exhaust. Now this is the stock all exhaust. It is the same inner dimension, so you'll get no benefit on the header. There's no aftermarket with bigger ID. You don't really need bigger ID with this motor. It's not clogged up from your ports. It's from stock. It's pretty ported, pretty high. Don't worry about it. So your rear, this is a Delcovic 18-inch with a spark arrestor. On idle, it's louder than stock. Not by much, but once you go down the road, down trails, it is equal to the stock exhaust, but sounds much better. When you're on it wide open, it's actually slightly, we're talking slightly quieter than the stock exhaust, and it's much more lower bass, so the noise does not travel as far because it's all glass packed. That's what you want. So you want the 18-inch because the spark arrestor does restrict more of a volume, more compresses. I noticed there was a huge dip, well, not huge, it was a noticeable difference with reaction times with the stock exhaust with this one. It wasn't power increase, it was less hesitation, more reaction time. It was noticeable. It's not in my mind. You felt it. Going through a berm on a stock exhaust, you hit the throttle, you know, there's about like a half a second delay, and just that little delay will make you fall. Again, this helped tremendously. Get the Delcovic 18-inch. Downside is they're cheap. That's why I have a aluminum LED, and I have the bar on because when you fall, you want this. That mounting piece that comes with it, throw it away. You only want one big washer on the inside, one on the outside. You want this exhaust pushed in as much as you can, because when you whack a tree, this exhaust will go bye-bye. So that actually helps tremendously. I fell quite a bit on this side, and this saved my exhaust. So you want to get aluminum turn signal. You want to make sure that stays on there. Just bolting this thing on tight. You can see it already dented in. Honest, build quality on this thing kind of sucks, but it held up. I'm impressed with it. Sounds fantastic. Low noise. This is the way to go. Stock exhaust sucks. Next is right here. When you put your bags, when you put your bags on and you want to wrap on your frame, there's no good point to wrap because your boots will rub the Velcro. It'll push up, will never work. So take off your passenger pegs, make an aluminum bracket. Super easy, 2 bolts. There's no offset on this side. There's no offset, so just make it flat. Make it just enough room so you take your straps, pull through, and then you could pull your Majovi bag in the back. That's what I did. It worked. Right here on this side, there is a offset. So it's fine. It's not a big deal. Just have it pried up, pried behind here, tighten it real good with Loctite. Did not go anywhere. I went through single trails with a loaded bag. It didn't go anywhere. So definitely do that. Let's see. Brakes, rear drums. I would rather have these drums than disc. For a low bike like this, you want these drums. They did amazing. I went through tons of mud with them. I know it sounds really weird saying that, but when you're pushing this bike, it's effortless because there's no resistance with drums versus disc, and it stops just as good. As long as you keep buying new ones every like couple thousand miles, they're cheap, dude. I mean, they're like $10. You don't need ceramic on these at all. It's just a normal cheap drum pads. You're fine. They stop just as well as disc. I lock these tires up, come into a turn, I'm way too far in, lock it up, hit the out, I'm gone. You don't need disc on these bikes. It's literally a joke. You want the drums. It's good. Next is, this is a big thing. This is my 4th set chain and sprockets at 4,000 miles. That's really bad, but I fixed it. Problem is, when you have a normal chain, a normal 428 chain, non-O-ring, and a basic O-ring one, they stretch. No matter what, they will stretch. It'll slit. I almost took out my casing. I should have taken this off for this review because it dug a huge groove right in my casing right here because the chain came off. If I didn't have this chain tight, like we're talking about when I would tighten up like right here, that was perfect. It'll never slip. I would hear it slip all in here. Now it's one setting too loose, but I don't hear it slipping at all because I got the 428 VX. I got 2 ones in the past. They were not legit. It was Chinese ones. So you want the DID legit on Amazon or wherever. Make sure it's legit. DID VX 428. You can make the chain loose. Your sprockets will last. That's fixed. So no more every 1,000 miles at the chains and sprockets. That was annoying. Make sure you get the VX. If you don't, go to a 520, but it is pointless because the VX is slightly stronger than a normal 520. So just spend the extra, get the VX. Rear sprockets don't matter. OEM. This is a 45 rear, 15 front. For the trails, it's perfect gear, and I mean perfect. You don't want to go lower, you don't want to go higher. Stock gearing is perfect. When it comes to real tight, where you're almost standing still, second gear is perfect. When you're doing a normal turn, 3rd and 4th gear, well, at the higher level, it does just fine. So 15, 45, VX, 428 chain. Don't get nothing else. I've tried. It doesn't work. They only make one chain protector for the mud. You need this. Without this, I would have completely destroyed my casing. It's from dirtly.com. I don't know the guy. It's flimsy, it's cheap, it sucks, but it's your only option. So when you go in the rut, it will definitely kick it out, but it would save my chain from popping off the sprocket, which happened before. But with this, it never did it again, so definitely get that. Pegs. These are the Zeta pegs from weebbike.com. Yes, they're expensive, but look how big they are. They're perfect, and they're at an angle like this, so when you're at your attack position, your balls of the foot go right here, and you're at a perfect angle for your feet. They're not perfect flat, they're slightly tilted back, which is exactly how you want it. So you have to buy a separate pin. On their website, it does list this. The separate pin that's on their website, you buy it, you drill it. It's not a big deal. We're talking 2 sizes bigger than the original stock pin on width, not length. Comes with their own spring. It's not very strong. It does the job. Sloppiness, not really. Just a normal peg. Big difference. You got to do it. For your gear shifter, take a bar. You want to pry the shifter out. talking like a ½ inch, quarter-inch, around there, because your MX boots won't catch it. You want it out, not too far out. I had roots and trees take that and just ripped it straight out. So don't go too far out, trust me. I learned the lesson the hard way. Just take your 2 wrenches and twist it up. It bends. It's all Yamaha crap, so it'll bend super easy. It don't break. Don't get aftermarket. Skid plate, no need. I hit a bunch of cypress roots with it. I mean, I really hit cypress roots hard with it. It's fine, didn't break. You don't need an aftermarket skid plate. It's no reason. Alright, well, I'm down here. Carburetor. This is a brand new OEM Japanese carb. I've tried so many carbs on this bike. None of them worked correctly at wide open throttle. They all sucked. So I had to buy a brand new Japanese OEM carb. It was like $700. I know, it sucks, but I had no choice. I am running a 122.5 main, 2 shims on needle, 42.5 pilot. That's a must. You want to lean out this bike slightly, and you want to richen up the mid, because when you lean out that main, the mid suffers greatly. I've seen all the time people talk about it. So you want to do 2 shims higher on that needle. That's a must. Lean out your main. All your wide open throttle problems is gone after that. You could get this thing way up there. I'm talking, I'm guessing, if I had to guess, over 10,000 RPMs. I know it sounds really bad, but it keeps going. There's no rev limiter on these bikes. Don't exist. They'll just keep going. If you lean it out, it'll keep going. There would be no problems. So for phone, this is a normal quad lock. You don't need the vibration one. Don't get it. You don't need to. This is a 225 with 9.3 compression. It doesn't make no vibration. It's a trail bike. You don't need any of that. So just get your normal handlebar one. No need for vibration. Basic phone charger. You don't need anything else. What else? I mean, there's a bunch, but I'm trying to think right now. Weights. Weight your rims. Big thing on this bike. Without that, this bike felt like a rocket launcher. It was bad. So just please weight your rims. It doesn't matter in the trails. The extra weight, yeah, you lose like a tiny bit of horsepower, but you will never notice. There's no point. I had to grease up those quite a bit. I've redone all the rubbers on this bike. It's a must. After a month, all the rubbers on the swing arm was gone. New bearings, that was a must. It's holding up pretty well. As long as you keep everything greased, there's no problems. That clear piece that's back here always rips off. Take an actual fuel hose, plug it up. As soon as you buy the clear rubber hose for your, for the water, never works on this bike. That shock takes it and rips it. Do a fuel line. For the Airbox, do not do any holes for intake. I tried it, does not work. You get way too much sand. This Airbox sucks. This is the weakest design out of this bike. Is this Airbox? It's really bad. Don't drill. Don't take out the snorkel. That's a huge thing. Do not take out the snorkel. It's extremely loud. There's no horsepower gain, and it's just a loud, obnoxious. You get much more sand, much more water. You're just gonna blow up your engine over time real quick. Leave that snorkel in there. What I did, I bought the online. Well, a buddy made it, but online they make them is the KLX 230, 250 3D printed snorkel. All the KLX bikes, most dual sport bikes has the same exact snorkel as the XTs. They all interfit. Get the 3D printed snorkels for these. It's like a 40% increase in intake. Just that alone was identical effect as no snorkel. So that problem with the whole airflow is fixed. You want to get the what was it? the not the twin air, uni air filter. The stock one's cool, but the uni can breathe much more. If it wasn't for that 3D printed snorkel with the bigger intake and that uni air filter, I would probably be at 120 main, and I would lose like I mean seriously half a horsepower. It's that big. Not the intake, but having that uni air filter, and you want to use the twin air bio spray. I tried other air filter sprays. It's too thick. It's too much. And after a day of riding, this bike will clog up real quick. It'll lose a ton of horsepower if you use real thick air filter sprays. You want to do it real lightly on the top. If you don't, you'll feel it. Big difference. So you want to barely oil this filter. If you don't, you're going to feel it hard. Next is O-rings. So I ran a 1040 weight oil, and all my O-rings were leaking. I mean, even the base gasket, every single gasket on this bike was leaking. I still had to replace the starter O-ring. It's cheap, it's on eBay. It takes like 5 minutes, not a deal. So I went to 2050 weight. It seemed to help. I haven't ridden that long on the 2050 to see if that fully fixed, but everyone says it would be fully fixed. But the bike runs fine, clutch is fine with the 2050. I'm in South Florida, so you know I needed it anyways. But yeah, the bike, there's nothing different running the 2050 other than hopefully my gaskets will stop leaking. What else? All the wires electrically I had it redone. It was old. When you start casing stuff, it rubs. The wires had to been redone. Not all of it, like the front I left, surprisingly. All that is fine. Never replaced any of that other than the backlets. The bulbs, those have been replaced. That's basic. The original switches here has a ground problem. They all have it. You can buy them online, but once you hold it down, the light will go out. Kind of want that for, you know, going to like preserves and stuff, and you don't want FWC busting your chops. You can stay in those bushes and hold it down and your lights will go while your bike is on. I know it's a bad influence, but there's now places to ride. What else? The rear tire, I tried Xt225s, 525s, the SP12s, they all sucked. You want to get the D606. I have 4,000 miles on this 606. Now, find someone that says they have 4,000 miles on the 606. You will not find anyone. The reason it works so good on this bike, I mean, it's not even rounded. It don't have the horsepower to round out these knobbies. And it's just soft enough for this bike. I go down to 12 PSI on the trails, sometimes even on the road. And then go back on the road, I go 18 to 21 PSI. 27 PSI if you want to get rid of road noise almost entirely. It's, get the 606. I go through mud, everything, you name it. And it came out great. Surprisingly, bottom out this bike, it's not leaving any marks. I don't know how. I feel bad for this bike, but yeah, when this bike bottoms out, it does not hit these fenders. I mean, it doesn't have enough travel, but I had to cut that out for the fork brace. But again, the front tire does not hit these fenders, so you do have enough room. I think that's going to be it. Stator, original stator is fine. The regulator and coil has to be changed. Change them. I did find electrical problems with those, and it seems it is a common issue with these bikes. Do not run these bikes rich. Nothing but problems at wide open throttle. Very touchy motor when it comes to that. I know I said it before, but make sure I say it again. Not run them rich. On the kickstand, basic Amazon adapter. when you're hitting corners and you're on ruts, I mean, you're really leaning over this bike hard, you're gonna be slapping it. Not bad, but we're talking when this bike is completely leaned over, bars almost dragging the ground, it does pop you right out. But that's like, I mean, you're hitting it hard. Other than that, you're fine. But I recommend that. It's real nice to have that. On the seat, it is a normal seat concept seat. The foam's great, but the problem is how it's engineered. It sucks. It goes straight down. And originally the seat was this much lower. It was terrible, so I called Seat Concepts and I wanted it to be changed. I said, I'll pay extra, I don't care. You need to figure out how to correct this problem they have. Bring it up. You could be any height, it don't matter. I'm flat, I'm 6 foot, almost 6'1". I can flat foot, no problem, even with this bump. So, you know, it can be hired to correct the problems of this bike. Now, the problem is you'd be sitting on here on the original stock seat, your back is killing you. You have to sit back here, but then you're so far back here, your front end is all over the place. It's a nightmare. So I took my 250SX seat, folded it, put it on, put the Gorilla Glue, and I shaved it, as you see right here. Shaved it down so it brings everything up higher, so you're much higher on the seat, so you can stay here and be comfortable. Put the cover on, stapled it. This has been almost a year on the seat, and it held up just fine. Perfect. I rode 10 hours straight from South Florida to North Georgia with this. No brakes, just get gas, less than 1 minute, I'm out, back on the highway. 10 hours straight, wide open. Didn't stand up because of the wind. And yeah, my butt was fine. So definitely recommend to modify a Seat Concepts. I don't like these guys at all, but there's no other options, so we're stuck. And I think I went through everything on this bike. Battery, lithium. I forgot the battery I have. I'll put in the description. And it has a self-charge, so not having a kickstart on this bike, not a big deal. When your battery dies, there's a button you click, and it'll give you just enough juice to start up your bike, and it'll automatically switch to the main battery. I had to do that twice out in the swamp. Saved me big time. So you don't need a kickstart on this bike. I was going to, but everyone talked me out of it to get that battery, and I'm glad they did, because you don't need one on this bike. It doesn't have enough compression to worry. This is the aftermarket coil. Aftermarket ones are cheap. They're not as good as OEM. See a little bit of melting here, but I run this bike real hard, so it melted a little, but we're talking, this has 2,000 or 3,000 miles on this coil, so no problem. Don't need to worry about that. Valves didn't really need checking. The valves on these bikes, they don't move. So at the 4,000 miles, everything has been stiff. No, out of everything I've changed, there has been no motor problems at all. This motor has been great, more than enough horsepower to do these trails. Now, that should be it. So, I know I have a few things more I did on this bike. I replaced a lot of rubbers on this bike, but everything I said is if you are really getting aggressive on this bike. I mean, you're hitting it hard. Right now, I got this bike at low B level speeds, consistently high C, low B, and the bike is doing it. But that's with Cogent suspension, and I'm trying to push it high B. The problem is my front end is tweaking about 4 to 5 times a day. I mean, hard tweaking. I have to change it back. That's with the brace, way over time. I mean, I think I got like 30 or 40 foot-pounds. That's way too much, but that's the only way to slow down the tweaking. So I got in contact with Willie Manning, and we might be doing a fork swap to WP 48 millimeter suspension, and we will be making our own triple tray for that, or I'll be taking a YZ80 triple tree, chopping that and doubling the top and bottom. So we're debating about it, but the performance of this fork with the 48 millimeter spring is good enough. It has the DTC valves, 48, and heavier weight oil, and I think the suspension can handle high level B. It's pushing it, it's hard. I mean, it's pushing it way beyond what it can do, but the reason why I can't consistently do very high B is I hit a corner real hard. Third gear, clicking to fourth, midway almost out of the corner, and that front end will tweak no matter what. You know, it'll tweak bad enough where the next corner I'm freaking out. Like, I have to turn a foot left just to counteract the tweak. It's bad. So that has to be done. I think I'm going to do that in a month from now. I really want to push this bike to high B. This bike will not get to A. I don't have enough horsepower, but it has enough horsepower to do high B. And trust me, at high B with 4 inches of travel is scarier than you think. Even at low B, it's brutal. You have to really watch out because the cypress stumps, roots will bottom you out real quick on this bike. You can handle it, you can manage it, but once you start getting kind of mid B, it gets sketchy real fast. It's not going to happen, but high B it will. But the triple tree has to change, no matter what. I think that's clutch, stock clutch. You don't need anything else. Performance-wise, anything in this motor will handle everything you can throw at it. It's handling everything I'm throwing at it, and I am being brutal on this motor. It's handling it. It's not eating oil. It's doing just fine. There's no extra noises. It's 4,000 hard miles on this poor thing. And that 10-hour trip going north was wide open. I'm not saying like, you know, wide open and back. No, it took the throttle, held it wide open, and that's it. It just, for 10 hours. I told myself if I make it to Georgia, I'm keeping this bike forever. And it made it to Georgia. So I don't know how it didn't blow up. Top ends are $55 on this bike, so I'm like, screw it. It was 62 miles an hour against headwinds on turnpike. So I don't know how this bike did not blow up. But yeah, performance-wise and motor-wise, it's more than enough. It really is. But that's going to be it. And in a month or so, I'll be switching these tires to, I have a different set of wheels. I'm going to switch it to full-on knobbies. Starcross 6. I have a whole different set of wheels, everything, just for aggressive single trail. That's when I'm going to start pushing this bike to high B. And then when it comes to enduro, going around the road, you know, basic stuff, I'll put these back on. So I'll release that single track video. Hopefully I have the triple tree changed by then. If not, I'll still release that video, but it's definitely going to be interesting. Background information, I can do burst to high AA, but I don't have the body of that anymore. I'm old now, so no more 2-strokes, no more 650R. I'm going to be on this bike. I love this little bike, but if I can do mid-high B on this bike and consistently do high C, I'm cool with that. I really am. The bike can do it, and it doesn't beat you up. I can ride 7 hours hard day, and yeah, I'm sore, but I can still do it. I can still go more. And on my 2-strokes, I can't. After an hour, I want to go home. On this bike, yeah, it is slower in corners, but not a night and day different slow. It's definitely slower, but I can keep going and having fun. So this is why I got this bike. And it's 260 pounds wet. It feels like an electric scooter on the road and has enough horsepower to push you around. People definitely get mad when you pass them on this bike in single track. I had a lot of people not talk to me. You know, we got along and passed them on single track, and they didn't like that. You know, maybe I'm overthinking it, but tell you what, getting past by a 14 horsepower bike will piss you off. That's for sure. It does. It's fun, man. I'll be making a video hopefully within a month, of the aggressive woods riding. I have a video out right now on my channel at Chrome with a Venture gear, the Venture tires. So that's about mid to high C. With the tire change, I'll be on motocross gear. You'll be seeing the high B. That would be a night and day difference than the video that's on my channel. So definitely check that out. It's going to be interesting seeing a bike like this can do that level. But thank you for watching. I'm sorry it's so long, but I'm really bad at these videos, and but you know what, I'll just make one and hopefully it finds it helpful for you guys. But see you guys around.